Hey. Out here in the truck, because it's the only place I can really get peace and quiet. Hello, if you know, you know. Got 5 kids. They're a blessing. But it's the loud house, for sure, for sure. But I just came on here yesterday I just had a moment of, like, I say reverie. That's my new word. I don't know why, but it just sounds good. But thinking about a time in my life. Quick story time, real quick, third time. Back in 2014, I was a mom, of course. Had just 2 kids at the time, and at that time I was going through a transition, and I went to this service. I went to my home church, near and dear to my heart, River Life Christian Center. Shout out to y'all. I went to River Life Christian Center back in 2014, a youth revival that we were having. And the speaker that night was Jeremiah Johnson. Shout out Jeremiah Johnson. Okay. And the service was lit, of course. It was good. Let me just say that. It was good. And we always at like the altar call or whatever, and I minding my business, and Mr. Johnson proceeds to say, "Hey, you." So I look behind me like, "Who you talking to?" Telling me, "Yeah, I'm talking to you." I was like, "Oh, okay, hey." He's like, "Yeah, you." And so I'm like, "Okay, what's up?" So he's like, God said that he, pretty much he about to bless you. So I'm like, okay, thanks. Thank you. And he was like, "Nah, I don't think you really understand. Like, God, he's gonna bless you." And so I'm like, okay. So he was like, "Well, God about to bless you with a new vehicle, with a new car." So I'm like, all right, now I don't need a car, but okay. I don't need a car, but okay. And the way he gonna do it, you gonna know it's him. So I'm like, okay. All right. So he was like, what's gonna happen is, the way you gonna know it's him is because they're gonna ask you how much you want to pay. Your credit is not gonna be a factor. And God is doing this because you've been faithful. So I'm like, okay, all right. Mind you, let me be very, very, very clear, very hot, real honest in this moment. I didn't have a prayer life. I prayed. I trusted God to a certain extent. But relationship-wise, it wasn't nothing like how it is now. I didn't pray. I cuss. Like, who want it? Period. Like, I was a cusser. So, yeah. I cuss. Listen. Cuss shot. Hey, listen. In a new relationship, so you listen, okay. So I'm doing me. So I'm out here, I'm doing me. So boom. So he's telling me all this. Of course, I didn't take none of that into consideration. I was just like, okay, I receive it. All right. Fast forward to this may have been in the summertime. I'm not sure. May have been in the summertime of 2014. Fast forward to September. Probably not even a lot of months later. I'm at home chilling. Me, my mom, Bina, my husband now. Hello, wife. Me, him, at the time he was my boyfriend. We was at the house or whatever. So I'm like, I'm about to go get my kids from daycare. So I go outside. I go to my car. About to go to my car. And my car not there. Listen, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I don't stay in the ghetto. I was not staying in the ghetto at this time. I was in a very prestige neighborhood. Like, it was top tier. So I go out there. I'm like, I come back in like, Bina, Mom, where my car at? Mom, where you park my car at? So she was like, I park where you always park at. So I go out there. My car is gone. So I'm like, somebody stole my car. I mean, what else I'm gonna think? No, for real, what else I'm gonna think? So I go and I call the police. So I'm like, where my car at? And so they call me, I probably like 5 minutes later, probably, I didn't say 5, I don't know how long later. They call me back. I made a little police report or whatever. They call me back. And they like, yes, at the time I was Miss Thomas. Miss Thomas, yeah, the recovery people called and they have repoed your car. I know y'all lying. Cause that's not the assignment. Like, it can't be true. So, but yeah, they repoed your car. So I was like, first of all, I'm in this new relationship. Number one, I'm in this new relationship. I'm going through a transition. I'm in this new relationship. I got to go get my kids. And like, I don't know. I mean, being really like me. Because I would have been like, let's get your car repoed. But anyway, I go, like, my car is repoed at this time. Like, I'm embarrassed and mad at the same time. Because I'm like, how? How, Pooh? I don't get it. So my car repoed. So I'm like, all right, can you take me up here to get my babies? Can you take me up to get my kids? So Ben take me to go get my kids. I come back. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Maya, I tell you, I do not have a prayer life. Prayer was not my first answer. Cussing out, going in, that was my first response, and period. That's all I did. And so I call, try to get some clarification, try to understand like what's going on, whatever. And yeah, my car was repoed. And that was it. It is what it is at this point. So that's probably like my last little severance of things that, you know, during my transition that I guess I needed to get rid of in this time. I'm not sure. But I'll just take it as that. Like, that was the last thing I really had to get rid of to start fresh and new. So I'm like, Lord, I need a car. That's what I'm thinking, but I'm pretty sure I didn't say that. But I'm like, I need a car. So I go to work and I talk to one of my homeboys, Antonio. I was working with him and he was like, yeah. So I was talking to my boy Johannes. Shout out to Johannes. Follow me. He followed me on he my Facebook friend. But he was telling me that Johannes had, you know, went through this whole little program or whatever to get a car or whatever. And so he was like, yeah, over on told me what the area was, whatever. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'm like, all right, boom, I'm finna go over there. Didn't waste no time. I talked to Johannes. Johannes give me all the information or whatever and tell me like, yeah, it's cool, right? It was real cool, real slick, real good. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go over to the place. So I got all my paperwork ready. I'm ready, you know, being credit, everything. Cause I'm like, I need a car. I got 2 kids. I gotta, you know, I need to get this done. So I go into the place, little small, cute little bank, cute little credit union. Go over there and I talked to, his name was Chris. And Chris was a nice little white man, long sleeves and shorts, like that type of, if you can understand, like that guy. And him. So I talk to Chris and Chris like, so hey, yeah, I see you here. You here for you want to get a vehicle on? I was like, yeah. He was like, all right. So this is the program that we have right now where credit is not a factor in this. And well, how much do you want to pay? So I go back. At this moment, it hasn't dawned on me that this is exactly what the man of God told me that was going to happen. Hello. It did not dawn on me that this is exactly how I was told that this was going to happen for me. So I'm like, I'm going through it. So I'm like, okay. So I tell him how much it is, tell him how much to pay. So being right then and there that day, he cuts me a check. So I go, me and my dad, best dad in the world, we go out and we look for me a car, right? And so I get to, I go to Hertz car sales and I find my car. A blue Nissan, low mileage, good maintenance, everything. Let me back up 1 second. Before then, like I say, I just keep reiterating this. I don't know why, but I just keep reiterating it. I did not have a prayer life. I did not ask God. I did not consult him, and none of this I had going on at all whatsoever. Not even to the point where when I went and got the car, like it didn't dawn on me at all. And so I'm right here looking for a car. So I called Chris back like, hey, it's kind of hard for me to find a car. Can you lead me in the right direction or whatever? So Chris was like, yeah, go up to Hertz. And they got good cars, low mileage, this, that, and the third. So I go up to Hertz. The exact amount of my loan, everything went off with that. I mean, like, everything just fell into place. Every single thing. I mean, it was effortlessly how it happened. And so I had a moment of reverie on yesterday, and I was like, okay, so you mean to tell me that I got this car, great car, good car, never had any issues with it. It's been 7 years, never had an issue with it, never had any issue or any problem with it. And God gave me this car. And then I had a moment where I was like, thank you. No, seriously, thank you. And I look at everything that happened to me when I had this car. I got sick. I wasn't able to work for months, sometimes a whole year at a time. I was not working. And not one time did Chris ever call me and say, hey, remember my money. He's not one time did he ever call me and say that. Not one time did he ever threaten to come and get this car at all. Like, period, ever. I've never, ever, ever had that experience with having a car at all. And the fact that I went a long time without paying my car note, a long time without being able to pay my car, a long time without being able to do, even sustain what I believe God had given me, right? So I look at that as when God is in it and he says that he's going to give you something and he's giving you something, then you have to literally hold on to his word. And in that time, I didn't have his word to hold on to. But when it all came down to it and I started to remember and have moments of just like remembrance, like, no, God, you said you was going to do this for me. You said, like, this is how you said it was going to happen. And it happened exactly like that. So now, and like I say, I was not in the relationship that I have with God now. I was not like that back then at all. But at the same time, even in me doing me out there, doing whatever it is I wanted to do or I felt like was right, God still was pursuing me that entire time. He did not have to do what he did for me. And the fact that he knew that I was going to need a car before I even knew I was going to need a car. The fact that God knew I needed a car before I knew I needed a car. Because when I got the word, I'm like, okay, how? I don't need no car. But God stands outside of time, sits outside of time, so he knows what we need before we need it. And so I don't know, who out there has gotten a word or feel like, God has forgotten or feel like or think that he doesn't hear your prayer or think that you're too far gone or he doesn't care because you're doing this, you're doing that, you got this going on, you got that going on, that he don't care, he ain't listening. And listen, I'm here to be a witness to you that it don't even take all that. Everything that you do in regards to like having a good relationship with God, because the thing is, he do things like that to show you that he cares, to show you that he's for you, to show you that he's always been there, even when you was doing you and when you was doing whatever it is you wanted to do, he was still there pursuing you. And so that's what it was for me. And I just had a moment of just gratitude and just thanksgiving that you didn't even have to do it, but you saw fit to bless me. And I'm thankful. I'm grateful for it. And it's like, it's amazing. And I just say that also to say, like, when God gives you a word, hold on to it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing else. When God gives you a word, hold on to it, because it will not fall to the ground. And if he said it, he's going to do it. Even if you got this going on, you got that going on, you feel like he gonna do it. He's faithful. So I just want to let y'all know that, like, I got a car, didn't need it. God stands outside the time. He's the provider, Jireh, period. And knew I was gonna need what I needed before I needed. And shout out to God, period. Shout out to God. And just Mr. Johnson, allowing God to use him. And it's just it was a blessing. And I just thank God that, even when I wouldn't listen, he saw fit to be a blessing to me. So I don't know who that's for, but I just felt that I need to share that. So yeah, until next time. See ya.